Hi everyone. So I got to tell y'all a fun story, and this is going to set it up. Holy cow, look at this bump we're about ready to hit. Whoa! Anyway, I got the funniest story that makes me think about every time I go over one of those humps like that. So anyway, I was guiding, and I was guiding waterfowl hunters, and I had this one guy. His name was Bob Bauer, and he was a great big guy, about 6'5", 6'6". He was huge. He played college football, and then he was a pretty famous oil man back in the 40s and 50s. So anyway, Mr. Bauer, he developed offshore drilling bit, which he sold his patent for about $50 million. So he was very, very wealthy. Anyways, I had this old Jeep. It was an old 1971 Jeep. It was a Toyota Land Cruiser. I called it my awesome Jeep, and I was pretty proud of it. I think I paid $1,400 for it. And I'm going to pull over here so I can tell you this story in this pretty place. Maybe we'll even walk down the river. So anyway, I'm guiding this guy, and not a lot of guys really like to go with Big Bob. He was pretty ornery, kind of stubborn, and he loved to go early in the morning, and he was not coming back from the duck blind till late at night. So when you went with Bob, you just planned on you were going to spend the whole day out on the marsh. You were going to go and it's pitch dark, and you're going to stay till it's pitch dark again. So anyway, I took Bob and on a deer hunt, and I took him in my awesome Jeep. You can imagine this fellow, very, very, very wealthy, extremely wealthy, wealth that I can't even imagine. So anyway, I put him in my awesome Jeep, and we took off to go deer hunting, and my Jeep didn't have a heater in it, and so I had what's called a heating buddy. It's like a little propane little thing, so I'd start it in the middle of the seats when it was freezing cold. So anyway, me and Bob, we took off up to a place called Bear Lake, Utah. We were going to go hunt deer, and we passed the north end of Bear Lake, and there's this old train track. You know those old train tracks where there's a big rise in the road? And anyway, I hit that thing going about 45, 50 miles an hour, and my awesome Jeep got airborne, and we came crashing down. And old Bob just looked at me, and I could tell I was in heaping big trouble. So old Bob looks at me and he says, "Pull this crate a bleep over." And you guys can imagine what the guys and girls can imagine what the bleep was. So anyway, I pulled over, and boy, he looked over at me. He said, "First off, I hate this hunk of junk that you're driving around that you call your awesome Jeep, because to me it's not really that awesome." And then he says, "I got 17 grandkids and 5 great grandkids, and I want to live to enjoy every one of them growing up." And he said, "So you keep this hunk of bleep under the speed limit, and when you see train tracks, you slow this hunk of bleep down." And so anyway, so every time I go over a little camel hump like that, I got to think of a fond memory of old Bob Bauer. And me and Bob, we become really good friends. I guided Bob for about 10 years. We went all over the place together, and I was kind of felt bad because about the time I'd saved up my money enough to get a brand new truck, I was so excited to show it to Bob on upcoming season, and Bob had passed away. I believe he was about 86 or 87, and so I never got to show Bob my new truck, and all I ever had was my awesome Jeep. And I'll tell you, if you all would have seen me get airborne off those railroad tracks, I was probably about 17, 18 years old. And a little bit, you know how y'all are when you're about 17, 18 years old. Anyway, fun story to you about somebody really close to my heart. Sitting here thinking about old Bob Bauer today, and I saw that camel hump in the road and thought I'd make a fun video for you all and tell you a story. Anyway, you all have a super blessed day, and coming to you from the river, I'm going to go back and get my rod and see if I can catch me some dinner right here. You all have a super nice day. Send you a great big huge smile from here in Southeast Alaska. All right, see y'all. All right, bye.